Coming up on WUFT Midday, President-elect Trump's cabinet picks are stirring up GOP controversy. The scandals behind some of his top choices. Plus, a stolen car was found in the Santa Fe River. How long deputies say it had been sitting there. And an update on local animal shelter struggles, how the county is working to resolve it. WUFT Midday starts now.
WUFT Midday.
President-elect Trump took a victory lap in New York this weekend, appearing at a UFC event flanked by allies and potential new members of his administration. The president-elect now prepares to battle for his controversial picks. Welcome to WUFT Midday. I'm Emma Pastis. Thanks for joining us. NBC's Bree Jackson has the details on Trump's contentious picks from Washington.
President-elect Trump with a ringside view of the USC fight over the weekend as the country gets a clearer picture of his picks for key roles in his new administration. Trump's latest is fossil fuel executive Chris Wright as energy secretary. He's argued that the climate crisis is a myth.
You get the truth from people who...
This comes amid news that Mr. Trump's pick for defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, paid a woman an undisclosed amount of money after she accused him of sexual assault. Hegseth's attorney says his client is completely innocent of what he calls a consensual encounter. Lawmakers also raise alarms about Hegseth's past comments that the military should not have women in combat roles.
There's deep concern, but also a deep opportunity to sort of make sure we are putting only qualified people in these jobs.
There's also controversy surrounding Trump's choice for Attorney General, Matt Gaetz. Some lawmakers want the House Ethics Committee to release its report into allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. Gaetz denies wrongdoing and resigned from Congress last week. Some Republicans argue the report should not be released.
The jurisdiction of the Ethics Committee is limited to those who are serving in the institution.
I believe the Senate should have access to that. Now, should it be released to the public or not? I guess that will be part of the negotiations.
Democrats are also blasting Trump's selections, including Robert Kennedy Jr. as Health and Human Services Secretary.
These nominations are insane and crazy.
Congress gearing up for a battle over cabinet selections.
Alachua County deputies are working to find out how a stolen SUV ended up in the Santa Fe River on Sunday afternoon. Investigators say the Kia Soul had been reported as stolen out of Columbia County and had most likely been in the water for several weeks. A resident told deputies that no one was inside when he found it near the U.S. Highway 27 bridge. Columbia County authorities worked with units from ASO's Marine Operations Underwater Recovery Team to recover the car. Dozens of people gathered Saturday in South Florida to remember a 19-year-old who died after saving his sister. Samantha Sosa reports from Miami Beach.
The night sky lighting up for Victor Castañeda Jr. Saturday evening. Dozens and dozens of people gathering on South Beach to celebrate his life, releasing doves and saying prayers.
All of his friends came. My brother was an amazing person, and to know him was really to love him. It
happened on South Point Beach, where the 19-year-old went missing while swimming with his friends a week ago. Witnesses say he and a group of friends got caught in a rip current, and he saved his little sister's life, who was out there with him.
Just let us never forget that my brother was a hero.
Rescue crews from several different agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, searched for him since Saturday the 9th to no avail. On Tuesday, officers discovered remains washed ashore in Key Biscayne, medical examiners later confirming it was Victor.
We're all very heartbroken. My heart is completely and irreparably shattered.
He's a special kid.
His best friends and family members say they'll always remember him as a shining light, a kind soul who was funny and always willing to help anyone who needed it.
Every room he walked into, he had a spotlight on him. I can't describe him any better than that. He was a star.
The love for Victor loud and clear as his loved ones embraced.
I find comfort in knowing that maybe he was just too good for this world.
And in other news, last night a White Springs man died after his car turned over. It happened around 10 p.m. on US 41 North. Florida Highway Patrol is investigating why the man's SUV flew over a drain pipe under the road. The man's car then overturned and he was ejected. The 53-year-old died as a result of his injuries. Several dogs who faced euthanasia last week are getting a second chance. Levy County Animal Services leaders said all dogs at risk of being put down have been adopted. This comes after the shelter was deemed unsafe for humans. Last week, over 60 dogs were at risk of being put down after shelter concerns with overcrowding, overextended animal stays, and ongoing maintenance problems. While most rescue groups have saved most, 15 adoptable dogs still need homes. Levy County commissioners will meet tomorrow at 1 p.m. where they will draft a strategy to restructure shelter management. With Thanksgiving just around the corner, it is the season for giving. WUFT's Nicole Beltran takes us to the east side of Gainesville to see how they are celebrating.
Gerard Duncan started setting up in the early morning.
That looked good. That looked done, right?
By noon, he welcomed a hungry crowd.
We're here because the community wanted us here. We're here because the community trusts that we can provide the support and the services that they recommend and they need, because it's all about community.
This early Thanksgiving feast served as an opportunity to feed those in the area labeled food insecure in Gainesville. Torquintia Williams is thankful for the kindness and culinary delights of others.
By them helping me, it's been much better because it's a everyday thing. But it is getting better.
That everyday thing this mother of four who grew up in East Gainesville is referring to is what she says is the lack of access to affordable and healthy food.
We need this. We need this. Like, so many people are thinking. So that's my word on that.
Because of that, Duncan and the other organizers say they want days like this to continue.
We're in it for the long haul, and we're hoping that, we remain a pillar in this community.
A community they plan to keep investing in order to keep it growing.
Yesterday was National Warrior Call Day, a day meant to focus on the veterans' mental health of veterans in hopes of cutting down on the suicide rate among those who served. Just a simple phone call can make a difference. Colton Chavez reports.
Oops, here it is. Hello.
Hey, Grandpa, how are you?
Larry Balderson says serving in the Navy during World War II showed him just how big the world can be.
Did you see your World War II hat?
I had it on.
Now he likes to share his stories and his time.
I'm proud of it. I mean,
you should be proud of it.
With his family that feels just as big.
55 grandchildren, and I don't see them all the time, but I do get to see them all. So
55 grandkids that fill his heart and all of these pictures.
My wife and I was married for 73 years. She took good care of me. And since then, my daughter's been taking care of me, so I guess that's it.
His granddaughter, Kelly Dolman, lives in Florida and likes to stay in touch.
Sometimes you're like, oh, I'll get to that later, but it's important to make that phone call, and then you feel good and they feel good too.
And researchers say it could help save a life. The VA says veterans die by suicide at a higher rate than the rest of the people in the U.S., and helping them feel less lonely or isolated could reduce that risk.
That's where he gets his joy, when he talks to his family.
Yeah, this is grandkids. Tracy, and these are all grandkids.
Larry says he has never struggled with his mental health.
Since my wife passed away, and my kids and my grandkids, they call me all the time, and I call them. And I mean, that's really important, really important.
But he admits in this big world,
yeah, he did,
it can get lonely.
Yeah, we had front row seats.
So he's glad that he can count on his family to always answer his call.
Well, I just wanted to call and say hi, and I'll give you a call later, okay?
Okay, sweetie, love you.
Okay, I love you too. Bye,
okay.
Grandpa.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Let's take a look at I-75, where it seems traffic is clear. It's a beautiful sunny day over Prains Prairie. If you're heading north or south, no delays this afternoon. Now let's toss it over to UF forecaster Nicole Borman. Nicole, we dipped into those low temperatures this weekend.
That's right, Emma. We did feel a little bit of that cooler weather during the weekend, but we could be seeing it a little bit warmer now. But don't worry, that cooler weather is going to be coming back later on to the week. Right now, all over north central Florida, we're seeing those upper to mid 70s, which is a nice cool air for right now, but it's a little bit warmer since yesterday. Yesterday, we were seeing a little bit cooler weather, and it's raised a bit since then, but do not fret. Later on in the week, we should be feeling a little bit of those breezes back up in the air.